Today we have a match between nuclear and geothermal energy. And place your bets now to see who will end up winning. Which energy is safer? Geothermal energy is safer. Why?
I am considered safer because I produce no long-term radioactive waste and I use a natural heat source rather than a concentrated radioactive material.
Which has lower gas emissions?
I have lower gas emissions than geothermal energy because I use almost zero operational chemical emissions for which geothermal plants release non-condensable gases.
Which energy is renewable? Geothermal energy is more renewable. Why?
I am considered more renewable than nuclear energy because I rely on natural heat like the Earth's core.
Which has water contamination control?
I have more water contamination control compared to geothermal energy because I operate in closed loops where the primary coolant never touches the environment, for which geothermal energy just leaks and starts damaging the environment without a care.
Which energy can be used in more places?
I can be built almost anywhere, which makes me more reliable and easier to use around the world. This means more people can depend on me for energy.
Which energy source has better control over the environment impact?
Drilling for me can disturb the land, and worst case scenario, it can cause small earthquakes or environmental damage.
I have more control over water contamination because I operate in closed systems. This means the material used doesn't mix with the environment.
Geothermal, give me valid reasons why your energy is safe.
I don't produce long-term radioactive waste. I use a natural heat from the Earth's core. I am also a renewable energy source, and I produce low emissions compared to many energy sources. I don't rely on radioactive materials. I use steam and hot water from underground to generate energy. I avoid radiation risk, and I use a natural process already in the earth. And I don't require splitting atoms to create energy. And overall, I am a clean energy option.
Interesting. Nuclear, defend yourself. Why is your energy safer?
I produce little to no greenhouse gas emissions. I help keep the air clean by reducing harmful pollutants. I am very reliable. I operate over 90% of the time. I produce large amounts of energy from a small amount of fuel. I support a clean energy future. I generate electricity in a controlled system using reactors. My process is stable and not location dependent. I do not rely on underground drilling that can disturb the earth. I am considered a low carbon energy source. When I am properly managed, I can safely produce energy on a large scale.
Wow, we'd heard both sides, but before we decide who the winner is, let's get a better understanding how these energy sources actually works.
I use heat underground to create steam, and that steam spins turbines to produce electricity.
Work by splitting atoms, which releases heat that turns water into steam, and the steam spins turbines to generate electricity.
Now that we've understand how both of them works, it's easier to see why one stands out more. The final winner is nuclear energy. Nuclear energy wins because it's more reliable, produces more energy, and has a lower emissions overall. Geothermal also has great benefits like being renewable, but it's limited by location and costs.